Hello students, in our previous video we discussed the chemical properties of amines, and the first property we have discussed, that was basic nature. Amines are basic in nature due to the presence of lone pair on nitrogen atom. In this video we'll continue with the remaining chemical properties of amines. Now the second property is reaction with acids. Since amines are basic in nature, they easily react with acid to form salt. Suppose I am having this aliphatic amine. Now it will react with HCl, which is a strong acid. Now it will form a salt like this. Okay, the salt is methyl ammonium chloride. Likewise, if I have aromatic amine, now this is aniline, it also reacts with acid to form salt, and this is anilinium chloride. So this reaction further proves the basic nature of amines. Now the third reaction is reaction with alkyl halides, and this reaction is better known as alkylation reaction. Now let's see how this reaction occurs. Suppose I am having this primary amine. Now this primary amine will react with your halide. So what will happen? Now HCl will be removed like this, and will get, now this is primary amine, I am getting secondary amine. Now it will again react with one more molecule of halide and will get, that is tertiary. It can again react with one more molecule of halide and will get and this is known as quaternary ammonium salt. So this is how your alkylation occurs. Means with this reaction we can convert primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary amines. And basically this is a type of nucleophilic substitution reaction. Now one example we can take here. Suppose I am having this methanamine, and if I want to convert this to this dimethylamine, means primary I want to convert to secondary. So what I have to do? A very simple reaction is there. It is treated with this methyl chloride. So here HCl will be removed and you will get your dimethylamine. So this method we use for conversion purpose, that is converting primary to secondary or secondary to tertiary like this. Now fourth reaction is acylation reaction, and acylation reaction is also known as acetylation reaction, and this is the reaction with acetyl chloride or acetic anhydride. So this is basically your acetylation reaction. Now let's see how the reaction occurs. So we'll be taking one example here. Suppose I am taking CH3NH2. This is methanamine. It reacts with, now this is acetyl chloride. Now this reaction occurs in the presence of a base. HCl will be removed and we'll get the product like this. Now, what is this product? This is amide derivative, because CONH is amide group, so this is amide derivative. So this is N-methyl ethanamide. Likewise, this reaction is given by aromatic amines also. So suppose I am having this aniline. It is treated with acetyl chloride in the presence of a base. So I am taking pyridine here, which is an organic base. HCl will be removed like this, and you will get this product. Okay, this is also amide derivative. This is N-phenyl ethanamide. Also, this acetylation can take place in the presence of acetic anhydride. So, okay, this is acetic anhydride. This is anhydride functional group, CH3 C double bond O O CO CH3. Now it is removed. So what is removed? CH3 COOH. Okay, and we'll get this compound. The same compound will be getting substituted amide, but here the byproduct is different, that is acetic acid. So this is your acetylation reaction or acylation reaction. So amines undergo alkylation also and acetylation also. Now the next chemical property of amines is benzoylation reaction. It is similar to your acetylation reaction. There we use acetyl chloride, and here we will be using benzoyl chloride. So let's see how the reaction occurs. So suppose I am having this aliphatic amine. Now benzoyl chloride is this, C6H5COCl. Okay, definitely the reaction will be taking place in the presence of a base. Your HCl will be removed like this. Now this is N-ethyl. It is also substituted amide, N-ethyl. Okay, see, this is N-ethyl and this is benzamide. Now the same reaction can occur with aromatic amines also. So this is aniline, this is benzoyl chloride, okay, base, and we'll get this substituted amide. And this is a name reaction and it is known as Schotten-Bowman reaction. The same reaction was there in phenol also. Okay, there was also benzoylation of phenol and it was also known as Schotten-Bowman reaction. Now sixth reaction that we are going to discuss is very important, and that is the reaction with chloroform. What is chloroform? It is CHCl3. Okay, this reaction is known as carbylamine reaction. It is not the name reaction. Carbylamine is the name of the product formed in this reaction, or it is also known as isocyanide test. Now, what is important thing about this reaction? That this reaction is given only by primary amines. Now, primary amines means both aliphatic as well as aromatic will give this reaction. Okay, means we can use this reaction to distinguish between primary and secondary tertiary. Means you can distinguish between primary and secondary, primary and tertiary. Now let's see how this reaction occurs. So we'll take chloroform plus alcoholic KOH, okay, and we'll warm this, heat this mixture. So what we'll get? We'll get isocyanide in this reaction. So we'll get CH3NC. This is methyl isocyanide plus 3KCl plus 3H2O. Okay, so this is known as isocyanide test. Now this reaction we don't perform in lab. The reason is isocyanides formed here, these have a very foul smell. Okay, unpleasant smell is there. Okay, so we don't perform this reaction in laboratory, but if asked in the theory exam, we can write. So this is a characteristic test for your primary amines, aliphatic as well as aromatic. Means aliphatic can also give this test and aromatic can also give this test. Now the next reaction that we are going to discuss is the reaction with benzene sulfonyl chloride. Okay, now benzene sulfonyl chloride is having this formula. Okay, this reagent is, and it is a reagent, and it is known as Hinsberg reagent. Okay, benzene sulfonyl chloride is better known as Hinsberg reagent, and the reaction with benzene sulfonyl chloride is known as Hinsberg test, and it is used to distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary amines. Means it is a distinguished test. So if you want to distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary, you can use this Hinsberg test or Hinsberg reagent. So let's see how this reaction occurs. So I have made a table and I have taken all the three amines, primary, secondary and tertiary. Okay, so this is C6H5SO2Cl, means this is my Hinsberg reagent. This is primary, this is secondary and this is tertiary. Now what will happen when primary amines react with Hinsberg reagent? Now your HCl will be removed like this and you will get this compound RNH. Okay, RNH. Now this SO2 is like this and C6H5. Now when secondary amines react, again HCl will be removed and what I will get? R2N. Okay, because 2R are there. Now this is SO2 and this is C6H5. Now since tertiary amines do not contain any hydrogen atom, okay, to be removed, so they will not react with Hinsberg reagent. Now how to distinguish? Because what is the meaning of distinguish reaction? We are getting a color, we are getting a PPT like this. So whatever product I am getting here, this product is soluble in alkali. Okay, so whatever mass we are getting here, okay, if I add a little bit of alkali, the mass will get dissolved. Okay, now whatever I am getting here, this mass is insoluble in alkali. Okay, so add NaOH to both the test tubes. If your compound dissolves, that is primary, and if your compound does not dissolve, this is secondary. And if no formation is there, nothing formation of a compound is there, that is tertiary. Now moving to the next reaction is reactions due to benzene ring. Means we'll discuss the reactions which are not due to NH2 group but which are due to benzene ring. And we know that such type of reactions are known as electrophilic substitution reactions. Okay, now first we'll discuss what is the nature of NH2 group. Now I know that whenever NH2 is attached to benzene, okay, now immediately your plus R effect operates like this. So we can make the resonating structures. Okay, now this negative charge will be delocalized like this. Okay, now we can say that because of resonance, the electron density is more at ortho and para position. So amines are ortho para directors. Means the incoming group will be attacking at ortho and para positions. Now what happens? This NH2 group is highly activating. Okay, because of the strong activating effect of the NH2 group, what happens? The electrophilic substitutions occur more readily. Okay, and sometimes what happens that at all the ortho and para positions, your substitution will occur. Okay, now what is the meaning of at all the ortho and para positions? So we'll be discussing the examples. Now suppose this is my aniline group and suppose bromination is done. Okay, electrophilic substitution means halogenation, nitration, like this only. So suppose bromination is done. Now this NH2 group is highly activating, and because of its strong activating effect, what will happen at all the ortho and para positions? Your bromo group will come. So instead of getting either ortho or para, I will get a tri-substituted product. And what is the reason behind this? This is only because of strong activating effect of NH2 group. I will not get a mono substituted product, or I will not get a product like this, ortho bromoaniline or para bromoaniline. This is the main problem here. So every time I will be getting a tri-substituted product only. Now how to control the activating effect of this NH2 group? How to stop the reaction at the mono substitution stage? So there is a method, and that method is known as protection of NH2 group. So what we'll do, we'll mask the activating effect of NH2 group. Okay, we'll protect it. And because of that, what will happen? We'll get a single substituted product. So the next is protection of amino group. Now this is the protection of amino group. Now what is done? Acetylation is done. Now acetylation we have learnt in this video. Now acetylation can be done in the presence of acetyl chloride also and acetic anhydride also. Now this HCl is removed and we'll get this product. Now let's see how acetylation can reduce the activating effect of NH2 group. By doing this acetylation, the activating effect of NH2 group is reduced. Okay, so this is your protection of NH2 group. Now how it is done? Now here also the nitrogen atom is having a lone pair of electron. So what will happen? This lone pair will be involved in resonance with this group like this. Okay, so the lone pair will come here. This nitrogen atom will acquire positive charge, double bond C, and here O negative. Okay, so by doing protection, what happens? The lone pair of electron on the nitrogen atom is no longer available to the benzene, because this lone pair will be shifted to this side. Okay, and because of this, the activating effect of NH2 group is reduced. So this is known as protection of amino group by acetylation. So let's see how the electrophilic substitution occurs. So first reaction is your halogenation. If normal halogenation occurs, okay, without acetylation, what will happen? This NH2 group is highly activating. So now 3Br2 aqueous means what will happen? At all the ortho and para positions, your bromination will be done. And what is the name of this compound? 2,4,6 tribromoaniline. And it is white PPT. It can be used as a test for aniline also. Okay, but how to get a single substituted product? So what is done? First, protection. Now protection can be done in the presence of acetic anhydride also. Now what I will get? minus acetic acid. Okay, now bromination is done. Okay, now I don't require anhydrous AlCl3 here because already it is activating group. So drastic conditions are not required. So what I will get? Ortho and para. So you can see now bromination is done. So we are getting ortho bromo and para bromo. But the main problem is again we have to change this NHCOCH3 group into NH2 group. Okay, so hydrolysis is done. So if hydrolysis is done, now like this the bond will break and you will get ortho bromo aniline and para bromo aniline like this. So this is how your halogenation occurs. So first protection is done and afterwards bromination is done and subjected to hydrolysis. Now the second is nitration. Nitration is done in the presence of concentrated HNO3 and concentrated H2SO4. So let's see how the reaction occurs. Now if nitration is done under normal condition, so I will get ortho, meta and para products. Okay. Now this is a very unusual reaction because generally we get either ortho, para or meta. All the three products we don't get. So this is a very unusual reaction that whenever aniline is nitrated, we get a mixture of ortho, meta and para products. Now the question is, aniline is ortho para director, then why we are getting a meta here? Why we are getting a meta product here? So this is the question. That during nitration of aniline, we also get meta product along with ortho and para. Now what is the reason behind this? The reason is nitration is done in the presence of acid because we are using concentrated H2SO4. And in the presence of acid, it is changed to this. This is base, this is acid, salt will be formed. So this is anilinium ion. And what is the nature of this anilinium ion? This is your meta director. So we are getting all the three products. The reason is NH2 group is ortho para director. So we will get ortho and para products. But a small amount of aniline is changed to anilinium ion. And because of the formation of this anilinium ion, we are getting meta product also. So we'll get all the three products. Now how to solve this problem? So the same, first protection is done by acetylation and then nitration is done. So like this, first acetylation is done, then nitration and subsequent hydrolysis. So this is how we can get ortho and para nitroaniline. Now here will not get meta nitroaniline. The reason is now anilinium ion will not be formed because now NH2 is no longer there on the benzene ring. Now the third type of electrophilic substitution is sulfonation reaction. Now sulfonation generally occurs in the presence of concentrated H2SO4. Now what happens, this is basic in nature, this is acidic in nature. So first we'll get this compound. Now sulfonation means SO3H group will come on the benzene ring. This is para-amino benzene sulfonic acid. Okay. Now what will happen in a compound whenever both basic and acidic groups are present. Now this molecule is having basic group as well as acidic group. Now what is the tendency of acid? Loses H plus. What is the tendency of base? Gains H plus. So this H will come here and will get this sort of formation. Now NH3 plus and SO3 minus. This is known as Zwitter ion. It is also known as dipolar ion. Okay, now what is Zwitter ion? Zwitter ion is that structure which is having both acidic and basic group. So there is a formation of salt-like structure. Okay, these are also known as internal salts. So what is Zwitter ion? Zwitter ion is a molecule having both acidic and basic groups in a single molecule. So there is a formation of salt-like structure and that salt-like structure is known as Zwitter ion. Okay. Now the fourth type of electrophilic substitution is Friedel-Crafts reaction. Aniline does not undergo Friedel-Crafts reaction. The reason is, in this reaction, anhydrous AlCl3 is used Now what is the nature of this anhydrous AlCl3? It is Lewis acid. It is Lewis acid, and it combines with aniline. Okay, and because aniline is a Lewis base. Okay, so what will happen? Whatever anhydrous AlCl3 you are using, that will combine with your aniline and a salt-like structure will be formed. Now this is aniline. So this is Lewis base, this is Lewis acid. So instead of substitution, now substitution will not occur. Instead of substitution, your salt formation will occur. So aniline does not undergo Friedel-Crafts reaction. Now the last reaction of amines is coupling reaction. Coupling reaction means with diazonium salts. Okay, we have learned diazonium salts. Now this is my diazonium salt. Now aniline will react with diazonium salt like this. Okay, now this is known as para-aminoazobenzene. Okay, it is a colored compound. It is yellow colored dye. Now this is also known as dye test. Okay, this test we can use for as a test for aniline also. Okay, this reaction we can use as a test for aniline. Okay, so this is coupling reaction, that is with diazonium salts. So when diazonium salts are added to aniline, a yellow colored dye is formed and it can be used as a test for aniline. So with this reaction, all the chemical properties of amines are over.